Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, welcome to Living With Us. Although, given where I am and the fact that I'm at Nation FM Studios, by the way, and the fact that it's really not my base, I feel like I should allow the gentleman in front of me, whose home I have invaded, to intro the show. And intro yourself. Intro me while you're at it.
Yeah, man. This is Nation Drive, and the show is Antona
Obina Wampodo.
Oh yes, this is the #1 drive show in Kenya, and as usual, we are live every Monday to Friday from 4 p.m. till 8 p.m.
Yeah, and if you're on social media at Antona Soul at Oga Obina, the hashtag is Antona Obina. If you're looking lovely and you follow us, we'll follow you back. If you're looking funny, we will think about it. Holla. And in our studio today, we have a guest.
The very beautiful, the very royal, the very entertaining. Yeah.
Guys, thank you for having me on your show. No, we're kidding. The way you introed it, even I was like, wow, are we really doing it? Are we live? Or, no, you're on Living With Us, everybody. It's 8 a.m. and we've started the show with so much fire. Why did you intro yourself as Father Abraham? That's what I remember from...
Oh, why do I introduce myself like that?
No, why didn't you? I was waiting for Father Abraham.
Depends. There's sometimes when I'm not a father.
You want you to know to think that he's not someone's baby daddy.
Okay, last time he came on the show, he had...
What if I was a father then, but now I'm not a father anymore?
Because let me tell you what happened. The truth, he started crushing on you, and then he realized all the things he said were not working with line with your character.
No.
So he was like, oh my god, this chick, I need her to like me back. Like, you know, you're regal, you're graceful and everything. And he was just there being ratchet and misbehaving.
No, it's a lie. The children came with the mother.
I'm happy for you guys to just keep talking for the next 45 minutes. I'm here.
We'll
I'm
entertain
sure the
you.
audience
No,
is
but we're
great.
gonna hang out with you next week, so we'll plan.
Yeah, actually, I'll come over.
Exactly.
And from 4 to 8
And
for some time.
Yeah,
we'll figure out.
we just hang out the whole time.
Okay,
Yeah.
but for now, we're doing
Alright.
entertainment highlights, right? Just like last time, and just like we do every now and then, we sort of take a moment to go through some of the big events that took place in the last 3-4 weeks and share our 2 cents, our honest thoughts on them. I loved it last time, so I'm going to just jump right into it.
True.
Now, do you all know a gentleman by the name John Witherspoon?
Who just passed away?
Yeah, he just passed away. He was the father of
The Wayans.
the Wayans.
Yeah.
The Wayans brothers.
Yeah.
And he also did a number of other shows. I think one of them.
He was what's his name? He's called
Friday
on Boondocks.
Friday. He's done a movie with Ice Cube. It's called
Yes.
Friday.
Right.
Exactly.
And a couple others, like
Friday.
Next
Yeah.
Friday or something.
Next Friday, Friday after next.
Yeah.
He's also he's not
That's
a very
actually close to how he sounds.
yes, he sounds like that. He's normally the ratchet grandfather or father. He's always regarded in movies like that. That's the part. He's always the grandfather who doesn't censor anything.
Yeah. But at this point, I'm like, I'm not sure I even understand.
Yeah, it's
But
like Obina is not trying to cast. He doesn't want to cast.
No, I'm not casting him.
Let's
He was
not
always
do that.
always casts in his shows.
That guy
Boondocks.
casts, yes.
Always. And I think that one of the reasons why we a lot of people probably know him or know of him is because he's one of the first like fathers we watched on TV.
Right.
Yeah,
Let's talk
yeah.
about that
Yeah.
a little bit. And
Yeah.
I want to hear from you guys,
Yeah.
from the both of you. Who are some iconic black families, male or female,
Yeah.
that you felt sort of gave you a moment to feel connected?
Eddie Murphy, baby. Eddie Murphy.
Black, okay.
Eddie
In
Murphy.
what?
You know why? Because in Coming to America,
Ah.
I watched Coming to America when I was very young, and ever since then, I've always known Eddie Murphy. I've always liked Eddie Murphy and Wesley Snipes. Like I always knew, if you want an action figure, Wesley Snipes. If you had a comedian, Eddie Murphy.
I think for me it has to be the uncle on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because it was one of the shows that I think for the first time as a Kenyan we were exposed to like sitcom in that way. And so the fact that he reminded us of most of our dads, you know, quite kind, but also he will be ready to take you on if you sort of go against his will. And obviously him, and then I think also again John Witherspoon because of the Wayans brothers, and I think there's other couple of shows, and I think even locally here at home, one of the people who we definitely, as a comedian and as a father, who we definitely did look up to is Mzee Ojwang. So yeah, so I think those are iconic.
Some iconic
Yeah.
things. I'd have to add there for me, which has now been tainted quite a bit, but the Cosby Show.
Exactly.
Bill
That's true.
Cosby.
Yeah.
So that-
I just really felt warmly. So when everything started to come up, I just was like, why would you do that to my
Yeah.
child? And there's people who even said they found it hard to to believe the
That's
victims.
me until
becau-
now.
You don't believe the victims?
Nope. I don't think Bill Cosby would do that. So until now, I've chosen not to believe. That's why I've chosen not to even talk about him. So I just say, because he was the perfect father figure. He
Wait,
was in a
but are you
family.
being serious right now, Oga? You really don't believe the victims?
I chose not to follow the story. Let's say that.
I think for me, I definitely, when it comes to, obviously, there's, and one of the things I like about John Witherspoon is because a black iconic father who wasn't tainted by any of this stuff, and I think he's gone down in history as someone who's definitely very, who stood out. But I generally have to say, obviously, when it comes to the Bill Cosby issue, the victims come first.
Yeah, I was also going to say a lot of times when you look at our leaders, our artists, it's easy to focus on, oh, but they're such a good singer. They're such a good
R.
actor.
Kelly, you know.
They're such a good president.
Mm.
I don't want to taint that, so we're just going to allow for the stories to be buried and for this person to continue to rise because we'd rather not confront the reality.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes I am the kind who'll be like, oh, it's too hard to watch hard news all the time, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But I think there's moments to also just confront these painful conversations.
But anyway, rest in peace.
Yeah, yes.
John Witherspoon.
R.I.P.
Boondocks Guka.
Boondocks gang.
Guka Boondocks.
And okay, so now I want to move over a little. Although before we even move, there's someone I wanted to share. He wasn't a father, but he'd dress up as a girl and he'd be another character.
Is it Martin Lawrence?
Yes. What was it? What was it? Shanika?
Shaniqua or something.
And
Shanae or Shanae. How you doing?
How you doing? Right. That's for some reason, even though he wasn't father figure, I was like, I just love
that
in living
Kala
and
Living Kala.
Single. What was that? Living
Living
single.
single.
Oh God, so many.
Single. Oh, the night is gonna end.
Okay, guys, network problem.
Right. Okay.
You know my real Jamaica honey.
I feel like because
And
it's
Vituko.
radio, we should be able to
my
sing.
Yeah, and plot 10.
But also no, Jerome's in the house. Watch your mouth. You don't know?
Okay, we're now moving swiftly.
We were in cable.
We're now moving
before.
swiftly.
Sorry.
Guys, I want to bring up this story that I thought was just incredible. Really, it was just incredible. And that is, there's a school in India that, in order to prevent the students from cheating, had each one of the kids wear a box. They had a box. They had a box over their heads as they were trying to answer the questions.
This is the thing. India has come up with so many inventions, innovations. There are so many that they finally want to turn the wheels and like reinvent the wheel, and they don't want these kids to think out of the box.
Whoa.
Literally, no
Okay.
drum rolls, no thinking out of the box. Which means, and you know what is so interesting? How many of us, by a show of hands here, have cheated in an exam?
I cheated once and
Guys,
I
I
felt
think
so bad for. I still to date. I want to
felt guilty.
apologize.
I think all of
I
us
feel
have done
so
it. Like,
bad.
I think all of us. The thing about exams, and not to, especially because now kids have closed and they're obviously watching us, not to say that you should cheat in exams, but I think all of us have gone through that. And the biggest lesson is that, to be honest, it doesn't help. But the idea that you have to put boxes for people not to do so, and then also think about it. There's like one invigilator with like 1 million kids in, let's say, Gujarat County. How is he supposed to invigilate all those kids? So me, I'm for the boxes.
Yeah.
on the head.
What?
The only problem with the boxes is that if you're gonna like keep sharing these boxes over the years, imagine just the accumulation of spices.
What? Oh, wow. Oh.
Over the years.
Slurs. All right. So, but guys, I mean, just first of all, how are you breathing? If you're claustrophobic, you're done for.
You're done.
You're not sitting in
By
that
the way,
exam.
you're done.
That can't
Yeah.
work. It's just done. You're in a box, and they're
Yeah.
not even like big boxes. Not that big
That's the
boxes.
head, not the whole body. It was your head that was put
but
there.
Obina, the idea of being claustrophobic is that it's your brain that is doing all the worrying.
Yeah.
Down here was not locked, so down here was open.
So
It's
so
still,
you
I
still
think
want to
it's
run away.
ridiculous. I mean, I know we don't want our kids to cheat. And I
Yeah.
think actually, because I don't know if you guys followed that story in Hollywood that came out a couple months ago where these big celebrities had paid for their children
Felicity
to
Huffman, I think,
be,
yeah.
to, you know, to sort of pass the exams and to get into all these big Ivy League schools. And then, so now there's a possibility that they might end up in jail, and there's court proceedings going.
So
I
one
haven't
of them
followed
is
it.
in jail for 14 days. And she's
Oh.
been dressing down so she doesn't like become like someone's, you know, your mama.
Why do we have
Listen,
to
In
go
fact,
back?
Martha Stewart threw shade at it's Felicity Huffman, yeah, I think. Threw shade at her, was like, she just looks so bad in prison. And then Wendy Williams was like, you want her to dress nicely so she can be someone's wife? Are you kidding?
You're watching too much Lockdown.
Yeah, too much.
And for people who are watching,
Orange
she's
is
the
the
lady
new
who
black.
in the story of the five, the exonerated five,
Ah,
Central Park 5.
yes.
She's the lady who works as the lawyer, the prosecutor,
Right.
the public prosecutor in the Netflix show.
Wow.
That's the lady who went and paid and did all these crazy things so her daughters could end up in good Ivy League schools. And
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, I think cheating is just don't cheat. It's not going to help anyone. At some point, it's going to catch up with you. There's no doubt. So you might as well just, if you're going to fail it, own it, but don't put a kid in a box.
No, but even the person who was putting the box in the head is the one who needed the box. First of all, why the box blocks this side? Do you know
Yeah.
why you hide the? You write it here on the thighs, on the decks, and that box was like this. So basically, they're hiding you, they're blocking you with only you are. You know,
Remember when we asked how many people here have cheated in an exam? What did you and I? Because we're honest citizens of this world. Me and you were like, okay,
just
we're not
because I know where they keep it, does not mean I
by the way,
cheated in
let
an
me tell you,
exam.
I cheated. It wasn't a national exam. It was the usual.
Yeah.
These hard mock
Yeah.
things.
How can you cheat a
The
national
one
exam with the police?
who
in the
Mine
class?
was even- I
knows
think-
where to hide.
I think I was in primary school and it was like class 6 or 7. I still feel bad, but I want to move on, you
I
guys.
feel guilty because now my mom knows.
Oh, it's okay. She'll
Yeah.
forgive you. You were honest.
Yeah.
So, there's a mother in Nyahururu who shocked the court when she declared that she actually would like for her son to be incarcerated. That she lock him up. He's become a nuisance. It's too much. I can't handle it. Take him in.
No, that's good. Why are people shocked? If your mother is tied with you, that means you are terrible.
You know, the thing is, people always think like, Ati, and this is the thing that I think all mothers watching today have to, and parents and dads, that when your kid literally decides to go a certain way, we need to stop, number one, we need to stop blaming parents anymore. Because your kid failing is not a failure in parenting. To be honest, some of these kids, and I think I'm gonna sound really mean, but some of these kids, man, they probably picked up a name that your great grandfather had or great grandmother had, and they probably had like bad behaviors. And this kid has picked up that name, and they genuinely are just carrying on the behaviors of their ancestors.
I will
Like,
disagree
there's
with
so
you.
many
The
things
name
that-
does not influence.
Oh, Bina, I'm
your
not kidding.
habits.
In Kikuyu culture, there are certain names that when you're being named, even your grandparent would have a say in it, like you can't name Anto that name because the person you're naming him after did not have a good like standing in society, and they end up picking those behaviors. The thing is, and nowadays, by the way, you can't beat a kid, you cannot pinch a kid, and then imagine it in public. So, and the village, the community has decided we're not going to take care of the kids for you. So when they see like the kids going wayward or whatever, they just keep quiet. So when probably this kid would have been molded to go a certain route, everybody decided, I won't do it. That's not my job. So I generally think that it's okay that this kid can be incarcerated, because if the parents have tried all they can, if the society cannot do it, well, in the other way is the government. Because if you don't deal with the kid isn't dealt with the government now, you will deal with the government later when it starts doing really bad things.
You know, by the way,
All
even
right.
about that, the mother is the last one to give up. If the mother is the one who has said, take this idiot,
True.
that is terrible. Because your father can give up, your mother will lose. You are a thief. But your mother says, my son, eat this one. You are being looked for, you are a night runner. Your mother is bringing you clothes in the morning, my son, dress up nicely. Like the mothers are the ones that always contain, and they are there. But if your mother gives up, that one needed it. That one.
Right. I mean, I'm not sure I fully agree with what you've said, Anto, in that the parents can't be blamed. I'm not saying that it's the parents' fault. At the end of the day, there's, a teen who knows right from wrong. But I do think that there's certain things or certain moments in which, as parents, and I'm a parent as well, I know on a daily basis, I know I'm somehow at this point messing it up, and I know it will sort of haunt her as a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old who's, for some reason, whether I try my best or not, there's something that I'm not doing right, and I accept that. I'm still going to try to do my best. Do I think that child should go to jail? Absolutely. I think assuming he really is what his mother sort of shared, which is she said, very stubborn and a big burden to me, and had been stealing money and things like that. And I do think there's a time in which you sort of have to step in and say, I've tried my best. I'm going to let the justice system teach you. And so that's how you stop, you sort of stop someone from going from someone who stole 1,000 shillings to someone who murdered, I don't know, 20 people.
Yeah, because now he'll need to murder so he can be able to get money.
Yeah.
But I do get your point also, to be honest, but again, I still go back to, like sometimes when you really can't deal with it, I think that just let it
let the justice. There's some I have relatives who I've even thought at some point, I think there needs to be someone else who steps in. We've tried as a family. I don't know how else to make some, make sense of this.
Families would you find like your uncles, your grandfather, they're so strict, like over something so small. So imagine if in those kind of families you stole. Because there's families, if you talk back at your parents, if you're always like skiving classes, they will send you to an approved school. Imagine if they had your stealing, they will lock you up. Because I don't want to milk this too much.
Then that's making me think. Wow, and I feel like we have to go on a break soon. But that's making me think. A lot of times when you have children who are lashing out or just being defiant in some way, it's not the question to ask. And I think I heard this from Oprah. The question to ask is not, what's wrong with you? Because that's usually what you'll be like, God, what's wrong with that kid? But it's to ask what happened to you. So there needs to be a rehabilitation aspect in this whole conversation as well, so that we're trying to understand, because it's really them saying, I am trying to show you I'm not okay. So I'm going to steal, I'm going to break into this place, I'm going to hurt someone. I need you to know I'm not okay.
That's deep, that's true.
All right, we've got to take a break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Just excuse me, pardon me, as I try and figure out which buttons need to be where, because I've never done this before. I am in Anto's and Oga's domain. This is really your space.
It's not been called like that. Oga's.
This is our domain. You have the first time. People should be using such big words around here. The people I work with.
Oga's domain.
Domain.
This is our studio.
Studio. They have a show that runs Monday to Friday, 4 to 8 p.m. You guys work hard, man. You guys work hard. So we're doing entertainment highlights, and I just want to jump in to the next conversation. Are you ready? So this one is about something that happened in Tanzania. As our neighbors over in Tanzania, they have an MP who decided to jail a few Chinese contractors because they were just not delivering fast enough. There was something that they needed to do. They were taking their time. So he was like, you know what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that you spend the night in jail, and in the morning, you go onto that site. And until I see that you've picked up speed, we're going to keep going back to that jail every
Good
night.
stuff.
What are our thoughts?
Me, all I can say is, if you guys are smart, you'll help me. So, wafungwe.
Skido.
Exactly. That's all I can say. If you misbehave, you guys, this is S. If you had a TV show in China and you misbehaved, you even you wore the wrong way against what they probably told you, they would never agree to it. So I don't know why we allow these guys to misbehave when they're in Kenya, because they do it a lot in Kenya, where people complain, this road is taking like 5 years, and sometimes they exaggerate, but it's taken too long for some roads to be constructed. And all I can say is, JPM, John Pombe Magufuli, he does not take leadership and respect for the African people as a joke. So if they misbehave, manzi wafungwe wote. Yeah,
That is
okay.
good. By the way, you know, I realized that some of the Chinese contractors that are here, apart from mistreating the Africans or Kenyans or Tanzanians or the black guys badly, they normally slaughter a few animals and then they sprinkle the blood on the road before they start the construction. There are a number of videos going online. Actually, you can
wow.
check.
Yeah.
So it's like a ritual they do. I don't know what it symbolizes, but they do it on the roads before they start the construction. Then they take their time. Then for Pome Magufuli to go away and jail these people for not delivering, I think our president should also take that. Because we have people who've been given 100 meters of road. 10 years. They've never done anything.
And also, we should also apply the same standards to local contractors.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Or
because-
even government officials.
Exactly.
Everybody,
When does
yes.
that
And
stop?
you know, it's constitutional that it's by law that we can actually arrest what we call citizen arrest. We can arrest people who are literally misbehaving and not doing their job. Like you could go, if the three of us decided to arrest.
we're not advocating.
Yeah,
that
we're
you
not
leave your-
advocating. By the
your
way,
space
just so you
now.
know, these are not the views of Nation Media. These are the views of Antonio Soul. But we could arrest people like those if, let's say, our producer Chris works, you know. And
No, let's talk about the politicians.
Yeah,
We arrest all the
I don't wanna say
MPs.
the names, and they work for Ministry of Interior.
Okay.
And these guys are not doing their job. We arrest them. Wabebe kilo.
Why are you throwing Chris under the bus like that? Chris
Because
behind there.
Chris is now officially
A dad!
dad. Please
Welcome
you have
to the team.
Pan the camera to him. This is the only time we go off script, guys. Chris, our producer, is officially a dad.
Earlier this week,
Yeah.
a bouncing baby boy. He welcomed a baby boy
Welcome
this
to the
Monday.
team and sleepless nights.
Woo, yes. Come
So,
on.
Chris, we're just trying to say that if you do not, if you give 100%
Yeah,
of your
and-
time to Nation and not your kid, we will also arrest you.
On that note, welcome balance.
Yeah.
Try figure that out.
And they just digress. Like,
Yeah, it just went really
maybe
left.
the kid is Chinese.
Oh
my
hi-yi.
This one.
Okay.
Husha,
So
husha.
let's get into the next conversation.
All right.
I'm gonna try and say this, but I know I'm just gonna mess it up. Yemi Alade. Have
Yeah,
I done
you
it?
did.
Have I
It
done
wasn't-
it?
wasn't bad,
Okay,
it
okay,
wasn't
it wasn't?
Yeah.
There was an it. Oh, okay.
You're just a
guys.
hater.
Oh, you can do
Yeah,
it.
you think
No,
you get points to this
because he's
guy.
the one with the voice to sing.
Okay,
No,
you
but
go. You go.
I think you did it well.
You're right, actually.
You did it well.
I should have asked you to do that.
Yemi Alade.
Told you,
That's what she's.
he's the one with the voice
That's what I meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you could just put his voice.
and your face.
Yemi Alade. This is it.
Hey, okay.
Use that as your
Yes.
promo now.
There we go. Come on. So anyway,
Yeah.
the Queen has just been nominated for a Grammy Award.
Uh-huh.
She had 1 million downloads for her latest album, and also is the only Afro artist, I believe, to have over 100 million views on her iconic first. I think it was her first release, but the one that just blew up.
Yeah, Johnny.
Johnny.
I'm looking for my Johnny.
Hey.
Yeah. Ah.
I feel like I should put. Where's the music? I'm not going to touch the buttons, but I want to go there. So, what do we think about international bodies stopping to sort of recognize? Do you think in this case there's room for them to be like, let's just help sort of put the light on African artists?
They are not
Or do you think
helping.
it's-
They are not helping. There's a lot of talent in Africa.
Oh, yeah.
They're just exposing what's already been there.
Right.
It's just that it's not been put in the big stage.
Yeah.
Even in Kenya, leave alone Nigeria, Kenya, even Tanzania, even Uganda. We have people in Uganda winning a lot of big awards.
Yeah.
People in Tanzania, people in Kenya. It's not just been the fact that an iceberg is not on top of the water. Is it an iceberg?
Yes.
That one they say the
Yes.
big part. Is
Yes.
that iceberg? Eh?
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yes.
I'm waiting for
Yeah.
this.
The fact that an iceberg is not seen on top of the water does not mean it's not there. Do you get?
I
Did
get.
that sound intelligent?
Because an iceberg will always be on top of the water.
Yeah, you-
No,
see the
a
tip
small
of the-
tip.
you'll see the
So
tip of
like
the
now they've
iceberg.
seen Yemi Alade,
Yeah.
but under the water
Yeah.
there is Antonio So, there's
This is S.
Obina, there's This Is S, there is Kajairo. Oh no, remove Kajairo from that.
This calligraph.
Yeah.
Yes, Calligraph,
Sauti
Masauti,
Sol.
and every other
Yeah.
person, Saudi Soul, and everybody. You see.
Yeah.
So I think it's not that they're now, coming. No. It's an opportunity. They're exposing. Let them continue. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I had an interesting conversation. We had this conversation with Victoria Kimani. She literally sitting right here on Antonio Obina. And she actually has an interview on Grammys.com. And she was saying that one of the things that the Grammys have to do is that they have to evolve and understand that the music now in Africa, what they consider world music, has changed. We don't even like the term because, you know, it's like saying urban music. You're just trying to say black music. So the fact that now, you know, they have to understand that music is no longer Angelique Kidjo, Salif Keita, you know, like there's other forms of music. They've exposed us to their music so much that when they hear Afrobeat, they're like, no, but it's, you know, it's like contemporary R&B, and we're like, this is who we are. And so her and her Woman of Steel, and I think the album is so aptly, you know, described. But then also a challenge to all the girls and the women of Africa to really, really understand when you listen to Yemi Alade's story, because the first interview I think she did in Kenya was actually at Nation FM when we were doing late night. And I remember the Yemi Alade I met then and now is quite different.
How so?
Because
Two
that
different
one
people.
was at Java across the street and nobody knew who she was.
Right.
And before she came to the studio. And now she cannot walk anywhere in Africa. Just the belief that you keep pushing and you sell your narrative. Like, don't get stuck in the, but you know Chris Brown is doing this, so I should probably, and he's big, so I should probably do what he's doing. Is that do you, and everybody else will fall in line. And when I mean falling in line, like they will do as you say.
Oh,
Period.
preach.
So just
Amen.
Yeah.
And I think what's also important to note is that we're at an age and in a space in the world where we're looking more for uniqueness, something that makes you stand out. And I think for the longest time we were all trying to sort of not stand out too much. Just don't ruffle too many feathers.
Yeah.
But now you
Yeah.
find a lot more people who are like, forget that. I'm really running. I mean, at least there's more support for people just pursuing their own truths.
And also, like, just to also big you up, because I think a lot of times even as friends we don't tell each other this. Like, for example, I saw one of your posts on your Instagram when you were in New York and you know you were with certain people, Bill Gates, and you know, and you said that you felt like you had some form of imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah.
And I think it happens to a lot of us, but just to even like I was saying, big you up, is that everybody's always watching what you're doing, like what you stand for, what you believe in, the things you say, the things you do.
Right.
When you're in secret, when you're in public, we all hear these things. And so you might tell me something and I mention it to my brother-in-law who probably works for some certain foundation, because just living your truth every single day. If you're happy about something, if you're unhappy about something, you live that truth, and not to please people. People do see. So
Right.
also big
And
up
if
to
people
you for
appreciate,
just living your
bless
truth.
you. Thank you.
Living with us,
Anto.
living your truth.
And then there's more and more people who will celebrate that. Like, oh my goodness, look at how they were able to just pursue that unapologetically. That's what I want for
I
myself.
love that.
Speaking
Why
of
you
people,
dress the same, I've just realized right now.
what are you talking
Me and
about?
we are looking like the odd one out.
We're
Wait, that is
matching.
purple.
We're
Oh,
complimenting.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're
We are
complimenting each other, and we're
You match without microphone. You don't see there's something that looks like you.
At me and you.
oh my goodness. In
Oh,
studio,
yeah, please leave me and S to thrive our BFFness.
in studio with
You-
these two, it's
Sorry,
a lot.
sorry.
It's like it's incredible, but it's also a little bit like
Yeah,
we've got to manage
by
two
the-
people who you don't know where things are gonna go.
Yeah.
Do you know why we don't have like a studio producer, studio what? Because no one.
Is able
Can
to
manage.
contain. It's okay. I will try my best, and
You've
with
tried
on
for
that
two
note.
All right.
times.
On that note, I want us to move to someone who unapologetically pursued his truth,
Hey.
his power, his light.
Yes.
Eliud Kipchoge.
Kipchoge.
Yo, can we all just take a moment and let's talk about where we were when we watched? Because I'm sure you better have watched. Okay, I don't know.
No, first of all, Elliot made me wear a wedding dress. So if you are going there, you're reminding me of bad memories.
You know what I realized? I've realized this moment you're
Yes.
actually a mom. You can tell, like I know you're a mom, but I realize you're a mom, you're
Okay.
mommy.
Okay.
You can know when someone is like they're lying. Like you knew he hadn't watched, somehow you're like, Obina, you
Where
didn't
is
watch.
that?
Yeah.
No, the thing
What's
is, we had a bet with this individual.
He watched the last 50 minutes.
Yes, but we had a bet with this individual that if Elliot breaks the record,
Yeah.
I will wear a wedding dress. If he does not break, he will wear a wedding
Wait,
dress.
what I want to focus on is you did not believe in Eliud?
I believed, but I said
You were
things can
not
happen.
a believer?
We are human beings. Why are you judging me? Stop looking at me like that, I beg.
goodness.
I said things can happen.
I won the bet, and he got to wear the wedding dress, and he walked all over Nairobi. And by the way, we have photos. We have just given you guys the photos. Here are the photos. And
For that moment, I salute Eliud. Igwe, you are a chairman. I will never bet against you again.
Never.
Yeah.
Sorry, Eliud.
The moment isn't
Sorry.
the dress, guys. The moment is that his school, the school that he went to, didn't even make it to the zonals. When it comes to like the sports, during his time, they never made it to the. His dad pulled a 159, and left his mother to become a single mother. So this race, clearly, his dad had been running the race, and Eliud was like, you know what, you run me, I'll run for humanity. You run away from your being humane, me, I'll run for humanity. He's someone who's brought up by a single mom. Shout out to all the single moms out there who have to deal with boys, because we are not a joke, boys. And they fucked at him, and you could see when he ran into the arms, you just run to the arms.
Hey, calm down.
Who loves you? Just run to the arms
loves you. To his, by the way, his beautiful wife and his beautiful kids, and you could see he was.
His kids were there.
Yeah, his kids were there.
I only saw his wife.
No,
in the finishing line.
His kids, of course.
No, that was the vice president. That was not his kid.
He's shot like this.
But the one with the
Obina, for those of us who watched.
Obina, you just will bring the wedding dress.
I saw the wife and the vice president.
I bring a wedding
dress. You watched the Nigerian version.
Okay, sorry.
Which is like.
But wasn't that the most powerful, most beautiful moment of just nice. Going past what your mind is telling you, what your body is telling you? And as they were like even sharing as he was running, how at some points he starts smiling, and when you see him smile, you know it's because he's in pain, and that's him tricking his body, telling his body, I'm in charge, I am okay, I have got this.
And then did a whole a media interview with so many people. Like he went to ITN, BBC, like NTV, he went live, people were taking photos, like everybody wanted a moment with him, and he gave us every single moment.
But who runs for 2 hours? Hi! That man is
under
a beast.
2 hours, not even 2 hours.
2 hours,
because people run for 2 hours. Who runs a 42 kilometer marathon for 2 point something marathon under 2 hours? There were people who did think though that this was a little bit unfair. I don't know if unfair is the right word, but in that he had a lot of support. He obviously had the science behind him, the people behind him, the shoes. Some athletes also commented, those shoes that he was wearing aren't even out yet. So
haters,
man. Getting to the money.
Everybody mad.
You can get too much money.
Hey, everybody mad.
The truth is this, and this I will say with unapologetically. Every single one of those people who said that the shoes helped him all had one thing in common. They were all white. I did not see any black person say that, And why? Because it's racism, period. A man from Eldoret.
From the bush. From the bush. Yes.
From Africa. From Africa.
A bushman.
Not from Nairobi or from Kenya. From Africa. Has come, he's run, he's had a billionaire who's supporting him. They try to even find all this stuff about the billionaire and about his company and all those things. They want to take the moment away because this man shattered a record that had been set by a white guy so many years ago. And even the white guy who set this record before, who tried to set the record, supported him in his endeavors. Because he is black, he's from Africa, there is no possible way he was able to do it.
And like in your show, he's the only person who would have been able to do that anyway. And it's not a world record, it was just really a moment in showcasing that man with the support of technology of other team members, teammates can actually.
But do you know what?
Achieve the
even
impossible.
If he ran naked, they would say, "Oh, he ran naked. That is why he did not have anything heavy on his body. His legs were too flat." There's always people talking, and you'd let them talk.
But bless you, Eliud, let me tell you, I was so happy. I'm still so happy. I'm still on an Eliud high. He needs to have stickers, bags, T-shirts, merch, because I'm buying. I'm buying wherever you are.
Just don't do it for your radio station.
I wanted to say the same thing.
All right.
I want to give him an old car.
We've got
give him an old car. He already has a double cabin.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am in Nation FM studios. I took over. I kind of
like
took over for now, and then afterwards I'm kicked out.
No, like it's fine. We don't have a presenter from 10 till 4.
Okay,
So this is SR.
hello.
Yeah.
That might just
There
be
you
my
go.
new gig.
You got it.
I've got Anto and Uga in the building, and I want to talk. Before the break, we were talking about a black man who just killed it. You know, just really made
Set the record
man
straight.
proud.
Yeah.
I want to talk about another black man who in Hollywood is just breaking barriers, and that is Mr. Tyler Perry,
Ooh.
who for the longest time got a lot of flack actually for being I guess just his kinds of movies, and there was a
Madea.
Madea. There was a little bit of flack there, but he has been consistent about what he stands for, and he recently opened one of the largest film studios in America.
It's not one of the largest, it's the biggest.
It is,
The
yeah.
biggest,
All
yeah.
of them combined.
It's Sony and a couple others
Paramount,
that
Sony, and
fit into
Universal
his lot.
Combined.
Yeah.
They cannot fit the same size.
And it's one that I'm not sure I understand exactly where it came from, but I think it was a plot that was once owned by people who
Yeah, it was a
helped-
Confederate company.
Confederate
Right,
company.
right.
Basically, racists.
Yeah,
were
exactly.
living
People
there.
who then helped promote slavery, and now a black man owns that land and owns that plot to sort of help promote a lot of black content going on.
Yeah.
Because there's also all these conversations around black people don't watch black movies, or if you take it outside of Hollywood, no one's going to watch it. Or there's all these conversations around why a lot of movies featuring and starring black lead actors and actresses aren't going to make it. And he's essentially saying, watch me. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 3 things come up for me. Number 1, stay consistent. Again, live your truth. Be everything that you are about. Stick with that and be that. Like everything you're about, there's a reason why you are who you are. And I think when you understand your purpose in the world, you do everything possible and do it with excellence. Number 2 is that you must remember those who came before you. I think a lot of times we tend to act like every moment that we have right now was meant for us, but there's people who have fought, who've died, who are broke even as you prosper, just so you could be able to live in that environment. And also go out and come up with people. Like, you know, if someone asks me, like, you know like, and I think it's a thing that Obina and I always try to do everywhere we go. Like, we'll go to events and he'll be, you know, they'll probably ask him, and so we want to do this with you, and he'll be like, oh, but can we do it also with Anto? You know, I'll go somewhere and like, and they'll be like, they'll give us a gift, and I'll be like, but I have a co-presenter. And consistently, genuinely do that, because you have to rise up with people. And something that's very important is that we don't fit everywhere. I think the idea that everything, you know, that I should be what I should work, I must be S's friend, I must know the producer, I must know the, imagine if that's not your space, leave it. Like, create and like he said himself, is that when you realize you're not invited to the table, go and become
build a table,
build your own table.
Yeah.
So whatever you're watching us from, and especially now that people have closed school, build your own table, period.
Yeah.
Hey.
Myself, this is what I would say. First of all, Tyler taught us that you cannot walk alone. You walk with people. Like, I've watched nearly all of his movies. Like, If Loving Is Wrong. Okay, sorry, Anto. I know gangster points are going down.
Yeah, the gangster is going down.
But I was watching If Loving You Is
Yeah,
Wrong.
but also with Tyler Perry.
Yeah, it's Tyler Perry, you know.
Yeah.
I watch Madea. Like, anytime there's a new one, I started watching the stage ones until they started doing the movies. Oh my goodness, haves and have-nots. I've watched them. Like, I cry with them, you know, but he's been moving with these people. He had now to build all the sound stages for his people, the sets, everything. Why? Because he was not invited elsewhere. Same as Anto. They don't invite you, create your own. I always tell people I came to this city as a street boy. Nobody invited me anywhere. I took myself everywhere. That's why I do everything. I do music, I do comedy, I DJ, I direct videos, I edit videos, I script, I'm a creative, now I'm a radio presenter, I host events. Basically, anything that puts food on the table, I will fix myself there and I'll do it. If it doesn't work, I'm like, at least I tried. I don't want to go like, I should have tried doing... No.
Wow, you guys.
Wait, today is
I
that
feel
day.
like this is
No, don't cry here. Don't cry
show.
here. It's
Hey,
wow.
the bullet are
Like my
TV.
soul is just
Leah,
like
Leah.
my soul is buzzing. I feel so elevated right now just hearing even two other black men celebrating another black man for being consistent with his pursuit of excellence, of his dream, and of also supporting and having other people achieve this kind of freedom. I think there was a quote as well. I can't remember where I read it now, but it had to do with true freedom is about, I think actually I may have seen it on Twitter actually, but true freedom is about making sure that other people are free in this space. And that's what he's doing. He's creating a space for people, for black people to shine, to be true to themselves, to be free to be themselves, to be celebrated and loved, and to hear the two of you talk so highly about him. I have so much respect for the two of you. That's what I was just feeling as you both were talking. I was like,
thank you
wow.
so much.
And I
have
think
so
also
much
this
respect for you.
is growing together. Like the fact that we have to do this, and we could do it with anybody else, but we do it together. That's growing with each other.
Yeah.
Like, and we don't have to like actually talk every day, but the intention that we have for this show right now that we're doing, that's more important than a tea. Oh my God, this is this. I love you. Oh my God, I miss you. People do that a lot. But freedom can be a prison. When you don't allow people in, it becomes a prison because you're on your own and you cannot go anywhere on your own.
Can I just have a little moment?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Obina
I
has
feel
been
it.
waiting for this moment.
Yes, that's my hand.
Oh God. I
By the way,
feel
you think he's joking. He's waiting for this moment. After he called me BFF on air, he's like, gosh.
By the way, today-
I thought you're my BFF. No, I'm not your BFF.
Do you know today she had me? Oh my God.
Oh gosh, you guys. Bless you.
Sawa Madia.
Right. So, can we talk about this other story? I really do wish now we'd ended with that one because it's such an
Yeah,
uplifting
also
story. But
deep.
it's okay. I do want us to talk about this. I think it's an important conversation to have, and that is Tunisia MP is in court over masturbating in front of a school.
Jesus.
Mm.
MP.
Yep. Member of parliament, legislator. So he's in court over that, and it actually sparked conversation in Tunisia. They have their own hashtag, but essentially, when translated, it's Me Too. The number of people who act as gatekeepers, who should be leaders, who should be the people supporting and pulling you up, but really and truly, they are the ones who are, creating victims out of a lot of innocent women and children. A school? I don't understand. But what are your thoughts about, leaders being held accountable for sexual indecency?
It's so symbolic of two things. One, and first one, it's very painful because what you're doing also is that you're exposing these kids who are watching you do it now know that something like that exists, and you're exposing kids to something that should never occur to them, and especially because it's you who's exposing them to that. People out here trying to fight, every country in the world is trying to all these anti-piracy laws and whatever, and kids, in pornography and all that stuff, and then it's a leader. And it even begs the question, what was his intention to get power? So he could get away with stuff like this, but also it's symbolic of that's what they do to us constantly. They are constantly spewing their disgust and their lack of respect to us. Like, they don't care about us. Let me tell you, Obina, it's so sad. Someone would leave their house, Obina, at saying, it's interesting, like, there are certain caveats to leadership. You must be of sound mind. You, like, when it comes to, like, code of conduct, you should be so high up over the integrity. The fact that you're going to do that in front of a school where kids are, like, it begs the question, when people were even electing you, like, clearly no due diligence was done. But also, we should ask ourselves constantly, who are these people that we consider our leaders, and especially people who we have to vote for? This is us, Anto Obina. We end up in certain realms of the world because of our talents, because of how we look, because of how we sound, because of what we believe in. And so certain things about us force us into fame. You vote for these guys. Like, you walked into a booth and ticked, like, you knew this is who you want. Did you just realize that this is... He probably
but
has
that's
a
hard.
history.
That's hard to... I don't know much about his
He
history,
probably might
but
have
it's
had a
hard.
history.
I mean,
And
something
people
like
said,
that.
You know what? He didn't mean it.
Yeah, something like that, though. I'm sure it's not the first time that it's happened, but it's hard to figure out that level of lack of self-respect and lack of respect
Yeah,
for
you know,
others, I think.
Personally, what I'm thinking is this. First of all, that guy's head is not okay, because even for an MP to go and, masturbate in front of a school, where was his security? Where was his PA? Where was his tour guide, if they have people like that? But speaking, what do you call it, Anto? When I want to put it like an example. For example, what he did is what even the Kenyan politicians or many other politicians do every day. They masturbate in front of schools all the time. Speaking in, that's the term I'm looking for.
Yeah, when they're being tribal.
Yes, being
When they're
tribal.
being
For example,
yeah.
why do we have potholes in the middle of CBD? Why do you have street children still in the middle of CBD? Why is there floods killing people in this country at this age now? Why is there drainage problem? Why is there food shortage? Why as
The Nairobi county is filthy.
Yes, even most of the counties. Why is it that now maize, flour, and the basic needs have gone up to over 100 shillings and fuel and everything? Why are ladies inside prison sharing a pad? Why is the volleyball team going to play and the government has not given them money?
Yes.
And they're ignoring, they wait
Yes.
they sleep inside a gym, and this is the volleyball team for the country.
Ministers of congratulations.
So I hear
Why
you.
are why is the Football Federation of Kenya not making money? Teams are closing, people are becoming jobless. Football players who can represent the country. Why? Because there's no money that's being given and the money is there. And then these politicians, they come back next time again, they vote, and then people still go, oh, it's my tribesman. Then you kick. And he's an idiot. It's still masturbation.
You are speaking such truth.
Yeah.
It's easy for us to be like, Tunisian MP, what are you doing? What are you thinking?
Leave that.
But
Let's
we're
talk about
facing
Syria,
that.
what they do
They do
here.
that to
And
us
that's what
every
you're
day.
saying, they're doing that to
Yeah.
us.
It's just symbolic.
Yeah.
It's that he did it in front of people because he knew he could get away with it in front of kids. But what they do, guys, don't be caught up with the word masturbation. He did that. If words like time are a construct, they could mean something else. What these guys do to us is constant
It's the
masturbation.
same.
Yeah.
on their faces.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So it's up to you to decide.
Constant
Do
disrespect.
you allow it?
Why would a member of parliament dress a very expensive cloth than the economy of your whole constituency?
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, sir.
Wusa. But also, I think there's space for that anger to come out, for that frustration to come out. I don't know if I've ever seen this, feel this tense, especially with the two of you. But I feel your frustration, and it's what a lot of us are having to deal with and have excused. And it's easier sometimes, I guess, to look at other people and think, ooh, Zimbabwe's currency is doing so bad. Ooh, Tunisian MPs are just really failing them. Ooh, look at what's happening in Uganda. But it's happening here now.
It happens. It's continuing. That's why you find policemen hiding in the jungle to record speed.
Exactly.
Why are you hiding in the jungle? Are you a monkey? You're just hiding away.
Just because you want to take advantage
Just
of
because you
someone.
want to take advantage. Why do we have old police stations? Have you realized all the police stations are old and they're using big books? Technology has changed. Why don't you have a computer when you're arrested, they take your thumbprint or whatever, and then the police station just look nice? Why? So
I think when people, it's funny when people want you to constantly say ignorance is bliss. I think it's a thing that most governments have realized. These people, let them stay ignorant because it is bliss for us. It is the only way that we can be able to enjoy life. Guys, on Kenyatta Avenue, there is a pothole.
there are potholes.
has
There
destroyed
are
cars.
potholes.
That pothole is so big, like if by mistake you are in that, I won't say the name of the company, that chap car. Like it could land there and you
That
guys-
small car, the axle will remain.
like the next
You and the
thing,
driver will be
your
the next
family will
stage.
be like, oh, Anto, please find for us as she's missing.
You know what the most politicians in this country do? They are given 100% of a budget, 90% they put in their pocket, 10% they do PR that they are doing the job.
It's just
They
that
are not even doing the job.
You're saying something as well laughing, but it is what it is. It's so bad. Anyway.
You get,
I guess sometimes
Yeah.
it's so bad you have to laugh at yourself. Like, how did we
I
get
know
to
we're here to
here?
entertain you, but also
Wow.
it doesn't mean that we're dumb guys. Like, yeah, that's just, you guys
Wow.
just know that. Like,
But can I say we've come to the end of the show, and I have felt all sorts of emotions.
We can't
Usually,
continue?
no, we can't. Usually, I'm just laughing, but
Yeah.
this time I felt like I felt connected. I felt pride. I felt anger and frustration. I felt joy. Thank you as always for bringing such warmth
Thanks for having us.
to this period of
Thank you so much for having us.
this little segment on.
We love living with S.
Oh, we love you guys. We love you guys. So tell me when you want me over.
Yeah, so
'Cause
next
you know.
week she's gonna be on the show on Monday.
On Monday, we do a hangout
Yeah.
from 4 till 8 p.m. Hashtag Anton Albina.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll come ready.
Yeah.
But at 4 hours, you guys, I don't know if I have things to say.
No, we'll do like 1 hour with you, and then
Okay,
and then
right.
we'll ask you for your music. We'll play the music you like.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Anto, thank you for these are Anto's sunglasses that I stole before we started rolling. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I will see you back here on Monday, and maybe you'll get to hear me on radio at 4 p.m. on Monday with the boys. For now, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a great rest of the day and a fabulous weekend. Bye, everybody.